Welcome to the city of brotherly girls.
Man,
I was waiting for a long time to get the technology down because I'm not very good at that. As soon as I did, I was like, my first guy I gotta get to you, bro.
dude, that's awesome, man.
Seriously.
That really makes me feel special, bro. I mean, Phil, we definitely got a connection because you hyped me up in my first fight, and you gave me a really nice something memorable to look back on, a Rocky story. You came out to the Rockies, talking a comeback underdog story to remember. You know, I have that framed in my house, bro. So you'll always be memorialized in my life, bro. And we're brothers, man. So I appreciate you, man.
It's everything too that like with your Christian journey, I think is sick too. You know what I mean?
Amen, bro. Dude, it's just, God gave me this platform to inspire, other just people just to have the warrior mindset. It's not even about, getting everybody in the ring to inspire people to get into the ring, but it's to inspire others to just rise up against anxiety, that demon of depression and evil. And, I just come from that, I come from depression and not always being the lion, but it's the lion ways and following God, the true lion. That's how I learned how to walk this life and walk into fear and walk out there into that ring and just do this.
What was that like? Just curious. What was like the transition for you for that, like mentally? I know you played college football and then you kind of transitioned into boxing slash MMA.
Yeah, I was like the fighter kid, I was in high school, I was like a crazy athlete. I was doing high school football and then going to MMA practice right after, so people thought I was nuts, but they also revered me and had respect for me because they know, yo, that kid's trained up. So I always had this little fighter kid, stigma to me. I went away, I played college ball for 5 years. I came back, kind of hit a lull, and I was just thinking, a couple of years passed, and then it was like, you know what, got to get back into my roots. I got to get back to what, who I was, and that was getting back to training. And, that was my martial arts. That was when I started back with martial arts again, and that's when I started competing. I did one kickboxing fight when I was a kid, but I came back at like 26 with a serious, like, I just wanted to compete. I just wanted to, inspire others. And my first year being an amateur, I fought like 12 times, with my crew, just to inspire and just show people, hey man, it's just a fight. And for my own personal self to get through, the beginner levels of becoming a fighter, overcoming anxiety and just learning how to compete. I just wanted to fight and fight and fight. And before you know it, I was qualified to become a professional. So that's kind of how I, became a pro. Now, as I'm 1-1 in pro MMA, coming off an MMA knockout. Of course, the boxing world wanted to grab me, and say, "Hey, man, come box, yeah, come on over here, And they throw a little bit of more money in your face, and they come get you to box. And of course, I wasn't a boxer; I was an MMA fighter, So, but I got thrown into boxing a little too green, I fought another good guy, All my opponents have always been A-list, undefeated guys, undefeated opponents. So basically, I lost my first pro boxing fight. I tied my next one, and then my third one was when I met you. Is when came to Philly, and I got my first win. So that's when it started. From there, I got sent to Madison Square Garden, and here we are. 20 fights later.
20, I was looking at your box rec, and you have your 20th fight coming up. I think every single one except for maybe one or two, and they were like 1-1, but every single one is undefeated fighter.
Yeah, that just shows you what they were when I fought them. I mean, if you just look at them now, everybody's 15-0, 10-0, 12-0. And all the guys I fought, they got their experience in the amateur ranks, and that's where I was lacking. So basically, through this journey of fighting, on the road and fighting in Philly and going out to New York and New Jersey, all these different places to fight these A-side guys, I have now gained the experience and, I learned how to train boxing. I do a lot of headgear sparring now and I just stuck with it. And now through my experience, I can compete with these guys and now I'm starting to knock them off. I'm starting to take away their O's.
It's almost like
So,
that's like your role now. Like you come in and you don't know what to expect. Like even at the fight that I was at, I'm looking at, I think your records was 0-1 and one draw, and then you're going up against a guy at 6-0, and you're from Florida, you're from the jungle in Florida. You come out with basketball shorts on to the Rocky. I'm like, this guy is my new favorite fighter, no doubt. I'm like, and then he comes in and you have him up against the ropes, no mercy. They had no choice. The Philly guy's supposed to win. You're in there up against the ropes, banging it out. It was
and
electric.
that's Dude, thank you, man. That just re-sparks the memory. That was amazing. I can't wait to be back in that same arena this Saturday. It's going to be lit. So I'm going to be letting my hands go. And now I'm just so much more just well versatile. I got a 6-rounder coming up, which is, awesome, and I'm just the deeper we go, the more skills and just the more exciting it's going to get for me, and I'm going to start hard and finish hard, so I don't. There's not going to be any lulls or breaks in my game, So the way I've been training now, 6 rounds, I'm ready for it. So, but yeah, going back to that fight, when it comes to fighting on the road, you got to really beat these guys, So that's the attitude I'm coming into this fight again, to not leave it to the judges because if I beat him and we go to the judges, he wins or we get a draw. If we tie, he wins. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. Being a road warrior my whole life or my whole career as a boxer, that's how I expect the judges to look at it. Unless I beat the champ, they're going to give it to the undefeated guy, So I got to earn it. I got to stop him. And that's the way I'm going to be fighting this weekend.
And I think that's how you always fight too. Even watching your fights on YouTube, everything, you're walking.
Yeah, I'm not looking to coach, really. I'm looking to fight. I don't. I'm not here for a super long time, but I'm here for a good time. And the fights that I'm in, I'm not going to be running, looking to just get out of there safe. I mean, I'm looking to make this a real fight, and the better win.
Let me ask you this question: do you think so? Going back to I was a history teacher for a couple of years. And then I got a new job. I'm kind of in the industry a little bit now. But going back to say like the gladiator times and that combat, that innate desire that we all have, like to be competing in that. Do you think that's something that everyone has? Do you think it's something that you're born with, or you think it's something that you're made with?
Well, let me ask you. I mean, you have some type of a nature in you to just become something more. I mean, look, you went from, not having a podcast to now having this platform, and I can see you achieving more for yourself. So like you just mentioned, there is an innate instinct to just want to grow and see what we can do with ourselves. That I think that's God given, but when it comes to, being a fighter and I think we all want more for ourselves, but the type of person, the type of human that God made me, this is what excites me is basically putting my life on the line, in front of the world, to basically see what I'm made of, in my own right. So, I do think and not everyone is a stage fighter, someone that will go out on the stage. 'Cause I know plenty of people that are great boxers in the gym, but they won't go out there and put their neck on the line in front of the world, So that is just that added, pressure that I put on myself to, grow to these levels that are just, this is some of the peak of performance, as far as overcoming anxiety, stress, fear. I don't care who you are, you're going to experience fear going out there, and we just walk right through it. And we're the modern day gladiators, we got the crowd roaring, and man, it's just a hell of an experience. It's truly unmatched. But to answer bluntly, man, I do believe it's a God calling to be a fighter, a real fighter, because it shows you, because the most common record in fighting is either what, 1-0 or 0-1. And why is that? Because either way, after they do one fight, they say, frick that,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
ain't doing that again. Whether
Everybody,
they win or lose, that's just way too difficult, and y'all
yeah,
can have that.
everybody got to get hit. So that Mike Tyson, you know,
Mike Tyson, man, he's an absolute legend, you know, and that guy even will admit that he experienced fear. I mean, you're seeing videos of him now coming out crying before he goes out there and demolishes a guy, you know. So I do believe, you know, some of the toughest warriors. It's not like we're fearless, you know. Some of the toughest warriors are the ones that are just we're just overcoming these emotions, you know, and just walking through it anyway.
and that's the way of doing it. You're like proving to yourself every time you get out there that you're a warrior, and it's almost like a doubt maybe until you step in there. Like, what do you think?
That's the one.
You know what I mean? Like a doubt. Like, is that what it is? Kind of like,
Yeah,
it's,
you know, I was just telling a story today about, you know, how the miracle happens when you just have the faith in your training and such, because you can't trust how you're going to feel right before you walk out there. Like you're going to feel all this extra stuff, you know, that's not normal there. And you know, we practice it, we try and tame it. And, you know, having 20 of these fights, it does help for I'm excited now, you know what I'm saying? But still, it's just that it's so much added, you know, pressure and stuff. You know, you go out there and you practice it and stuff, but once you make it out there into the cage or the ring, you know, and you just trust that you put in the work and you have this confidence in you, the miracle happens. You know, I've felt so nervous before some of these fights and acted just faked it, you know, basically just trusted God, you know, put it through me, and I'm just experiencing this because I have to. And I went out there, I had some of the greatest performances on some of the days where I thought I was going to feel, you know, the most shaky. So I've just come to just trust that my training has given me enough skills. My body is ready. I know myself now. I know that there's extra energy packets in there. And, you know, just going along in this journey, the more experience you get, the more you really learn who you are. And that's why I know I got these reserves, these energy packs. I know I'm not easy to put away. I know I'm gonna be there till the end, and I've done it a time and time again. So I just trust that I'm going to push that same foot forward this time, and God's with me, you know?
it's like it's proving to yourself, and it's like trusting in the Lord ultimately too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to. You do. If you rely on your own strength, you're going to feel alone out there, and you're not, you know, there's a certain presence that comes from having God in my background, you know, in my corner. You know, I definitely don't feel alone out there. And I'm so grateful for that because I don't know if I could, you know. There's got to be that, you know, that spiritual push to let you say, you know, why are you here? Why are you doing this? You
Yeah,
know, and when I talk about my God, you know, what he went through, you know, I'm just going through something light compared to what my Lord Jesus Christ went through. So, you know, that's how I kind of put it. You know, one time my brother was cornering me in like my fifth boxing match. We were going up to South Carolina. I got a draw in this fight too because I won, you know, but I fought in South Carolina and it was like the third round. And my brother, he didn't have the water. And he was like, "Oh man, I feel bad. I don't even have water or ice for you." He goes, "Hey man, but Jesus didn't have nothing, man.
yeah.
Jesus did all that, man. He didn't have no water. He didn't have no ice." And I was just like, "Yeah." And I just got filled with. I didn't even need water. I was just ready. I was just focused. You know, I wasn't concerned about the water. I was just ready to go. And I forgot about being tired. And I just got an extra surge of energy. And you know, it's true. There's these energy reserves in you, and I try and teach people how to tap into them. You know, and go deeper than what, you know, the first level of being tired can show you. You know, there's more and there's more, and you trust in God, and you open up these floodgates of energies, and you can really like you can become limitless almost when you tap into that energy, you know,
True.
far beyond what you can imagine, you know. So, and it showed me before, so that's why I have such great faith in God, because of what he's done inside of me, you know.
Think about, I always tell, I taught at a religious school. I taught at a Catholic school. And I would always talk to my students, and I talk to even my friends about it. I say Christianity and spirituality and a trust in Jesus isn't a soft commitment or soft religion or a faith or relationship with Christ. If you think about
Right.
it, he was a man on this earth who endured the ultimate sacrifice. He could have said, "I'm not who I say I am," and they let him walk. He said, "No, I am who I am," with
Took the
nails.
easy road.
Yeah. ultimate savage warrior of all time.
Right. And does love feel good when he was up on that cross? Did it feel good when he was, getting pierced? No, like none of that felt good. And that's what I realized what love is, what true love is, what true sacrifice is. It's meant to get out of your comfort zone and break barriers and break through fear, that devil that's trying to keep us in a box, it's like we want to achieve more, but we start to use our logical minds, and that's like creeping in, putting in doubt, putting in
Oh,
fear, anxiety, all these things. That's not of God. That's of the devil, and that's the way I look at it. So I just try and push through that and just fight with God, and just take on some of the sufferings that he endured in what I'm doing using this platform. I that's the least I can do to be a warrior for my God. And when I do get my hand raised again, I'm going to give all the glory to God. And I can't wait.
it's gonna be sick. So where did this like what like talking about your relationship with Christ? When did it really start? Like, did you have an upbringing, like a religious upbringing, or
Yeah,
was there?
yeah, that's awesome. That appreciate you asking me that, because so man, it just started for me just recently, like just the past couple of years. I was actually brought up in a household that didn't really talk about God much, but it was I was actually in a Jewish house. I was brought up. I had a bar mitzvah. My family doesn't even know what it's about. It's just a tradition. No one really had a relationship with God. We weren't praying before dinner. But we were a loving household. I was just ignorant to a relationship with God. I really just didn't have that encounter. And it's funny because I can't even remember what my like thoughts were before I thought about God, before everything I do now. But really, just when I had an awakening to the world, just in the past couple of years, it was really when like COVID happened, probably about like 3-4 years ago. I was feeling like, real darkness, real down, and then COVID happened, and I was just really like awakened to like kind of like the evil that was here on this earth. And when I was feeling down about all the evil that was here, I had a major revelation that, all this evil's here. God must be real. And when I had a revelation, I just, I had a brother pray for me. I never met another grown man pray for another man, in the name of Jesus Christ. And I just started to learn about how Jesus, who he was, and it just happened organically. And I have a brother who does street preaching. He's not with any actual church. He's in the church of the street. He goes out there and pulls up a microphone. His name is Level 305. He's a legend in Florida because he was a bare knuckle brawling gangster. He went to prison. He got shot at, and he had an encounter with the Lord. And now he's just a street preacher, and he baptizes people on the street. And he goes out to Opalaka and the hoods in Miami and baptizes kids who hear the message of the Lord, and that's basically where I had my encounter with God. I went and I met him out on the streets, out in the street church, and I got baptized in the streets. And it was actually after I had a revelation with God. He basically encountered me, did something in my body, showed me that he was the way. And it was just undeniable. It was just an undeniable twinkle of his Holy Spirit that I felt. And I just wanted to latch onto that the best I could. And every time I heard or felt or used the name Jesus Christ, I just felt that power. So I just it pulling me towards him more and more and more. And as I've given my life to Christ and try and follow him, just more has just come into my life, the blessings of fellowship and just the camaraderie and the doors of communication. I could tell that this is the way, and I'm just trying to follow. And that's how my faith has grown, because I'm just seeing more fruits of following the Holy Spirit.
It's true, brother. And when you think about how much pride as a man that like you have, or how much pride as a man that your grandfather has, or you know, go back even generations. If Jesus is either two things, he is who he said he was, or he's the most craziest mentally ill person of all time. He's one or the other, because he believed that he was the son of God, because he ultimately the ultimate sacrifice. But then if you go back and just look at it as from a human element, like your father, your grandfather, me, or you, would we be martyred, in front of our children and families for another man if we didn't fully believe that he was the son of God? That's what's powerful.
Exactly.
Think about
Exactly.
the whole town, the whole area said no, he is the doubters. That's
Exactly. And not even having him in my presence of, like, actually seeing him with my own two eyes, what I've felt and what I've seen in the spirit world in my own body and how he's changed my heart. I'm as believing as those people that would have been martyred, and that's the true relationship with God. That's when you're really considering God in your life, when you've had that encounter in your own body. And I mean, the whole world can turn on Jesus Christ. I won't. And that's basically what happens to people. And I know there's a lot of people that haven't had that experience yet. And I pray for people to have that, because once you do, it's over. You ain't going back, So I understand there's a lot of people who, haven't seen the light of Christ yet. And that's just part of the journey. And maybe they're just not meant to, I don't know God's plan, but once you have that experience inside your own body, doesn't matter what anyone says, I know what's real to me. So what can I say? What can I do?
yeah, dude.
You never seen so many people martyred for anything else, but Jesus Christ. And, now you're under the microscope, so got to be something to that.
And if you look at all the major religions, they all acknowledge he's either a real person or a messenger. And Jesus himself, from the man himself, says, I am the only way, I'm the truth, I'm the light. So if you put it in just in that perspective, he's saying, I'm the only way.
I believe it. I mean, I never seen or felt a message like him, so it's almost like it's not worshiping the man, it's worshiping the spirit, Jesus Christ, the spirit, that's God. And, that's whom I'm sourcing my power from, and he's still with us present because God is almighty eternal, and it's a blessing that Jesus Christ came and, God came in the form of a man named Jesus Christ. And we got to experience what the Holy Spirit can look like through a human,
Rule number 1 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu is the belief in God. You fight harder because you're taking care. Rule number 1.
Rule number 1. And you know what? It's like, it's so crazy because, there's people out here that look at people who follow God and say, oh, what a dork. Well, oh, he's such a weak guy or something. Man, only the strong know what it's like to follow God. You have to put down your flesh. You have to put, the things that make you uncomfortable. You have to do that for the greater good of God and for humanity. Now that's gangster. It's sitting back, living the easy life, pointing the finger, laughing, being a little demon. It's like it's such a gaslighting society we live in, to point at a man of God thinking since he's living an abstinent life that he's weak. You know how strong you gotta be?
Super.
So it's just that now I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand the true lions are the ones that follow God.
Sure, brother. What was if you feel comfortable with it? What was like your testimony? What was like that real turning point? I know you talked about it like a little bit. Like, was there like a defining moment, like during COVID, when it was or a revelation you had?
Well, definitely, and I don't mind talking about my past because, I was like a superstar coming up, in athletics and stuff, but I was constantly using painkillers, and pills, to keep me going. In college, man, you had athletic trainers just giving you medicine all the time. So when I graduated and I was out, just working construction, they give you a couple months of prescription Percocets and they send you on your way, and I didn't go NFL, I didn't go pro, but I spent my whole golden years playing hard in college football, basically battered up my body, and basically it ended up, it wasn't a great home living situation, I wasn't rich, and it was just, just that type of lifestyle led to depression, and then dependency on the pills. it created, addiction. And I just got into a bad cycle of addiction and depression and using these pills to band-aid my emotions. And, that's like a lot of athletes out there. I mean, I'm telling the story of a million people out here who have got addicted to prescription painkillers. And, it ended up, for me, since I'm a radical dude, it ended up leading to IV use. And, I just lost myself, and I was just using anything to basically mend the hole that was of, I didn't know who I was, and I had no spiritual foundation. Basically, I had no foundation, and that's why Jesus Christ needs to be the cornerstone of your foundation, because otherwise you crumble. And the devil was just eating me up left and right. I was getting thrown around by the world, chasing women and drugs and, quick fixes. And I just lost interest in being of service to the world. And I was only trying to be of service to my flesh, which is something you can never please, brother. You know what I'm saying? When the devil has you in addiction, you can never please it's true what they say, because I've been institutionalized. Thousands, one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. So it's like any addict can tell you that. And that's basically my, I had a 3 or 4 year stint of nearly losing my life to addiction. This is when fentanyl started coming around too. I mean, I was playing with my life every time I was using that stuff. And there was a tragedy in the family. My mom passed away in a tragic car wreck. And it was like a revelation happened at that time. Everyone got set free, and everybody either went to jail or went to an institution. I went to both. I went to jail first, then I went to treatment. But, it didn't happen while I was in treatment. But coming out, there was another tragedy. One of my best friend's brothers killed himself. And there was just like a lull of darkness, but and of course, this was around the same time that COVID happened. And like I was saying to you before, just so much darkness happened. But then a brother, Level, was telling me about Jesus Christ. He was always sending me messages. This is the street preacher I was telling you about, always sending me messages about God and stuff. And I was at a point where I was so desperate that I actually listened to one. Yeah. Instead of liking it and just pushing out to the side, I actually listened to a message from God, and it just made me feel warm. And then not long after, my brother, who's found God before me in the same manner, he was saying, dude, this is it. This is it. It's God. That's what we're missing. Because me and my brother are very similar. He was experiencing the same hole, and it's just amazing how God found us, man, because we both experienced dependency on these medications, and we both experienced depression, and God organically found us through a street minister. And, I just allowed basically a brother to pray for me for 10 minutes. And I just couldn't understand how like another human I thought he had to be high on something, and I just learned more and more that these people are just high on the Holy Spirit. And anytime I felt it, I felt like a tingling, like I did some drugs, like it made me feel that same feeling like I was seeking out on the streets, trying to fill that gap, and I just sought God just the same as I would seek the pills. And, before I could know it, before I even realize it, I guess my cup has been filled, because I've been feeling great ever since. And haven't used a single piece of medication since,
It's amazing, brother. Seriously, to overcome that and to seek the Lord. Well, not even really, like almost the Lord coming to you like, hey, it's enough, right?
Absolutely. I mean, he really showed me through literally visions. I mean, made my body feel a euphoria beyond any drug that I could even imagine, and he just made me undeniably know that I am real. I am here. I am Jesus Christ, and I'm with you, and you are going to continue on. And nothing like that, I mean, I've had certain things, that are just God. It's just so normal to me to see God working in my life now. But, just the fascination that happened after having my first encounter with God, it's something that'll never leave me. I mean, I'm on fire for the Lord, because of the way he's touched me. And it's something that's if it happens inside you, it's like it doesn't matter anything external, just
You,
like when they say, you can say, here he is, over there, like it won't. I won't believe it because God's gonna show me I'm not gonna have to go looking for him. I know that he's omnipresent.
yeah, yeah, bro. That's amazing, dude. And now before fights, do you meditate? Do you pray? Do you think about that, or do you kind of just try to block it
Yeah,
out?
man. I take my shoes off, I put my bare feet on the ground, and I just envision just God just allowing the energy that he put into this earth to just come in through my feet. And I just try and ground myself to the Lord, through the top of my head, receiving his Holy Spirit, through the bottom of my feet, just creating a torus field of energy and just focusing on God and just allowing that to be the source of my power. And I can't fail.
That's amazing, brother. We need to have a movie, dude. Okay, in like a couple years from now, 20, 30 years, The Lion be
Oh,
badass.
dude, man. The lion, the B-side warrior, man. I mean, dude, we definitely got a movie. It's so funny you mentioned that because a friend of mine was just saying, bro, you got a story, man, bro. You just going out to these places and now you're becoming an A-side, competitor. You're beating these A-side guys, and I'm really, created the, recognition from, having skills in boxing now. It's not just beating sandbag guys and then, it's beating real opponents now. And that fight I get is a real fight, so I'm looking forward to this Saturday to testing my skills, man, and it's going to be another great experience. I'm going to level up no matter what, and I am leveled up. So Philly ain't seen this side of the line yet, man. So I'm really looking forward to coming back. And even though I put on a good show in the past, this is going to be a really good one.
I can't wait. I'm gonna stream it. I saw on your Instagram how to watch it, so I'll
All
watch it.
right, good.
It'll be sick, dude.
Definitely, definitely. And if I get more information, I'm going to definitely post it. If there's if the streaming website directly, I'll post that. But yeah, I want all my people to watch and tune in and like Goku with the spirit energy, just send it my way, and I'm going to take care of this for us, man. I'm going to represent.
Yeah.
And I know you're from Philly. I know you're out there, man. But I'm taking out the hometown kid, man.
Yeah, man, that's the goal. I mean, I was thinking about it too. If you kind of did the path that a lot of these guys are doing, like you said, the B-side warrior, and you fought, 0-5, 0-6, 0-7, you'd be 10, 12, and 0 by now. If you really think about it, with
Well,
11,
yeah, I mean,
you know what
see,
I mean?
I'm the B side warrior. If I was the A side and I did it right and got my amateur experience and I was this good starting my career, like these guys are, yeah, I could easily be undefeated just like them. I totally understand how boxing is. If you put me against an average guy right now, every time I'm beating him,
Yeah.
every time.
You think it's hard? Is it hard for you getting fights now because of that a little bit? Because it's
No, my record still is, 4-12-3, so that's really 7-12. And you can basically take about 5 of my 12 losses as controversial decisions that they just gave to the other guy. So I would say I'm actually in the positive side. But if you look at my record, guys still want to fight me. I'm still getting plenty of work, and I think people just want to work with me because they know I show up. It's going to be, a good fight. And yeah, the selection of opponents. I have had people back out in the past. There are people that aren't ready for the lion yet, but there are those who are willing to try. And they're looking for a good fight. So I'll be willing to oblige, man. I got offers.
that's badass. Now, would you ever consider doing MMA as well, like just strictly boxing now?
Well, I mean, boxing is, I'm really, dedicated to boxing because you really have to, with these sports, it's like in boxing, with respect to boxing, I have to give full effort to boxing if I want to be competitive for real, and with respect to MMA, I would have to do that as well. I do have a background in MMA, but, I really become more of a boxer because to keep up with the grappling and the jiu-jitsu, I would have had to have stayed on that, like these guys, the level of grappling now, and look, I could take an MMA striking or a mixed striking fight or something because my kickboxing's still on point, and it depends, I guess if they offer a good money fight, but boxing's able to offer more. That's where I'm feeling comfortable at right now, and I can't really say for sure. I could say for sure that I'm laying off the bare knuckle for
Yeah,
now. I
UFC.
could say that. But everything else, we'll see. You know, if the money's right, you can probably count me in.
That could be the venue, though. You could take over BKFC. That stand up.
That's not, you know, it's a moral thing because I'm the perfect BK fighter. I know that, you know, but it's almost like a moral dilemma. You know, God kind of spoke to me and told me, you know, leave that. You know, I've been to these BK events at the Hard Rock, you know, and they're screaming blood, blood, and they're not happy unless you're bleeding and leaking out. And, you know, every jab you're getting cut, you know, look, I know I can maul and hurt people and stuff, but it's not really my goal. You know, I'm doing well where I'm at, inspiring and building on this platform. And,
For sure,
you
bro.
know, I don't know, who knows, maybe God will give me a new message soon, but, you know, for right now, I'm just staying focused on where I'm at and staying away from the brutality of the bare knuckle right now, you know?
Really. Now, what do you do? Don't you work with kids or do you do counseling? Like for your, don't you do counseling?
Well, yeah, for the last couple of years, I worked in mental health and addiction recovery. So yeah, I've always had a spot in, like, you know, mental health treatment centers, working as behavioral health technician, you know. But for the past year, it's been strictly boxing. You know, it's been all self training and training others. You know, I've you know, instead of working for a treatment center, the people now that I've, you know, made connections through, and I still stay involved with, you know, I work with them outside of the treatment center, and I help them build their martial arts skills. And martial arts training is for everyone, you know, for anybody who's just starting to ready to compete. You know, it's good for your confidence, your mental health, and your mental health, you know. So that's what I really focus on when I, try and advertise training to people. And I'm starting to build, you know, my pack of lions, and I've been focused on, you know, just training up, you know, lions and building that lion mentality and just breaking people out of their, you know, their mind, you know, their box that they have in their mind, you know, and start to build their confidence and their physical strength.
You bringing them out to the jungle?
I bring them out to the jungle here in Dania Beach. I got a gym here in my backyard, and it's like an open invite back here, you know. And I appreciate all the support. You know, it's like I get donations basically to keep it going. You know, people help, you know, keep my lifestyle going because, you know, this lifestyle. I'm going into gyms, paying my ring time and you know, getting that training in. So people reciprocate and I reciprocate with, you know, the training and what I've learned out there. I love to hold mitts for people and just build their confidence, you know. And I can work and spar with anyone who's beginner level all the way up to, you know, the best in the world, you know, and no one's going to get hurt. You know, it's going to be great work, and we're going to level up together, you know. So I love building that confidence with people.
Did you get any offers to be like sparring partners for any of these top guys, like in the weight division or anything like that?
You know, yeah, the offers are starting to come in. There's definitely a few. I've been offered to, like, the Orlando Boxing Club to come out there for some paid sparring, and there's multiple guys, you know, that I'll definitely be sparring here in the future. And I just received, you know, after this fight, I'll be going into a camp with some kid that's going to look to, you know, their coach wants to put me on you know, a paid program to be part of that camp, and they even want to dorm me up, you know, so. There's some good opportunities that have been happening. You know, I'm privileged to be recognized as a good training partner, you know, so that's why I've been allowed into prestigious gyms here in Florida, like DS Boxing with Derek Santos. He's allowed me in his gym because, you know, the sparring that I've been able to give his guys, you know, and the control that I have. And we all just get better, you know, the energy's right. And, you know, it's a gym that believes in God. So it's, you know, we stick together.
Yeah, man, that's some Bryce Mitchell stuff. I see you on Bryce all like on social media. That's my guy, dude. I
Oh
love
yeah, man. I support any guys that are getting after it like him. And, you know, there's others, you know, Jared Gordon. He has such almost like a similar story to mine. You know, he literally addiction to, you know, UFC. So, I mean, these guys are amazing to me, you know, and just people and all of them can tell you it's God, you know, and I just respect it so much for them to be just open and direct and to help inspire people to find God in their life and reach that type of power.
For sure, bro. Who are your top guys in the game, favorite wise? Like, do you have any historical fighters that were your favorite growing up or anything?
Well, yeah, Mike Tyson was definitely my number one. I mean, come to mind, he just comes to mind. But there's guys like Chris Eubank that
Yeah.
I just look back, and he was just like such a champion in his life, just how he lived. He lived like his strive was perfection, and and he got it from God, and I look back and I didn't appreciate it when I was a kid, but now I can see these guys and I say, wow, that's a champion, guys nowadays like Cambosis,
Yeah.
he's fighting all the best, and he's not ducking anybody trying to fight people that are like out of their prime and playing the whole business role. He just kind of reminds me of a guy like me who's just wants to make the name not off being undefeated, but off having fought good fighters.
It's such
So
a
I really respect a lot of these guys, man, in MMA and boxing, and bare knuckle. I have good friends in a lot of these sports, and I'm just trying to just be as inspiring as they have been for me.
I think that could be even like looking forward. You would be a great coach one day to somebody. Like even a manager, like fight, like have your own stable of fighters that you're managing and
I
inspiring and
totally see that, man, because going through it yourself, there's no better person, than someone who's done it, been through all the mistakes, learned for myself. I'm self-managing. I had to learn everything. What this business is about and how to represent myself. And thank God I met some great people in my corner, like Popeye. He's out there in New York. He's a coming up famous trainer. That's tied into all these great promotions, and I just met such great people that have been in my corner to help show me the way, and not just take advantage of a guy that's on a journey, but actually help me try and get better, and I took it in stride and I got better. I didn't just go out there and take the hits and take the money. I went out back home and I went to the gym and I sparred and I took the advice, and now I can compete with the best in the world, I feel, with
now
confidence.
for sure, brother. Would you, let's say there's a kid coming up and he's talking to you, and he asks, he said, I want to get into fighting. What would your advice be to him? Would you tell him to do it or would you tell him not to do it?
Well, I would definitely see what their consistency is like and their discipline is like. And that would definitely be a huge tell of where they're at. A lot of people get excited for something and they can do it for a week, but can you do it for 2 months?
Yeah.
Can you do it for a whole year straight? Those are the people that break the barriers, the people that are just willing to keep pounding the nail. A person like me now, that's why I do believe I'll be a good coach, because I can see that in you now. I can see if you're willing to pound the nail and keep coming back, because I've seen people like my boy Christian Jan Australia, who was a nerd. I mean, you'd look at this guy, you would never think, and he lost his first couple fights, and you just think like, all right, this guy's never gonna win. He is now 9-2 as a pro fighter, one of the most feared, 130s out there, 128s or whatever he fights in MMA. He's a 125 or 130 or something. He's a small guy. They call him the Kraken because his jiu-jitsu's gotten so nice. I mean, but these are guys that just hammer away, and that's what I would look for in my students, and I would like to build that in people to make them understand what it takes, to get results in any right. Not just to be a fighter, but to get results in your body, to see results, how you look, how you feel. It's consistency. We just got to keep coming back. And that's that mindset. That's why I would like to be a coach, so I can start instilling that into, young people's minds, so they learn how to achieve results. And then what type of results from there will all depend on the individual.
Sure. And it's almost like any arena that you're in, whether it's your day job or fighting, like the ultimate, it's really anything. It's if you're going to be consistent or not. So if you're going to be a conqueror or you're going to be conquered. It's like whatever your
Yeah,
circumstance,
because we're all
overcome.
going to get rocked. We're
Yeah.
all going to get hit. Just like Rocky said, it's not how hard you get hit, right? It's how hard you can get hit and keep going, And that's what matters, and that's what I found out about life, this sport. You can always prevail as long as you just stand up, you use the strength of God, and you have the faith that, as long as I keep going, I can't fail. And trust me, you can't.
Now, are you
You
gonna?
can't.
I don't know if you can release it yet, but are you gonna come out to Rocky again? You
Dude,
keep
I am, bro. Straight up, man.
yeah.
I'm straight up. I'm coming out. I don't know. Maybe people will take interest in this after the fight and they're gonna see this, but trust me, man, I got to, man, because that's that energy I'm feeling, man. I've been thinking about it all week. We got to link up, man. It just makes sense, bro. And I'm
Right.
feeling like I'm the one that's got to do it, man. I got to do it. No one else is gonna do it. I'm doing it.
Dude, that would be crazy. You got
I'm
eventually
doing it, bro.
you gotta get the American trunks. That would be nuts.
That would be badass, man. Now I got to put the whole gear together. I don't know if I can ensemble that. We got one day to. I should have thought about it better, but the Rocky at heart is coming, baby.
That's sick. Now, what's it like getting fights and doing all this yourself? Does it kind of take a little bit away from the training a little bit if you have to constantly, you're
Yeah,
basically
I mean, I learned how to. It's not typical for a fighter to be dealing with the business side of it as well, but I kind of learned how to, just, not everything gets my full attention right away. If you do, you're going to run yourself crazy, and look, it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to push things back, so I just learned how to kind of speak for myself. And I'm glad I went through the experience of, trying to people please and trying to be at 100 places at once because you just can't, so it's best. I just learned how to just be direct and just not learn how to allow anything to take away my energy, and just do things, the casually, the right way, but I think at a certain point here, I will be seeking, certain representation, and I think it's going to find me eventually, where I'll have a coach and a specific coach and possibly a manager getting me, some good fights in the last part of my career where I can possibly, work my way up to a title shot and, maybe fight for some hardware and put a string of wins together,
for sure. And I mean, if you like with your walking forward style, you walk forward and you fight every single time. It's like appealable. A lot of these guys too, they're even 12-0 and they're dancing around the whole time. No one cares to watch that. No one does. As
Right. So
so,
I agree. I mean, yeah, I agree with that, and I appreciate what you're saying, man, because that makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You liking what you're seeing. Well, then get ready to see some more stuff this weekend because I'm be doing what I do. I mean, I'm a fighter. I put a show on, with my skills, but I'm focused the whole time. I'm not taking time and rounds off. I'm looking to engage and, create something every moment of the fight, and that's why it's going to be exciting.
sure, bro. Have you done any like film study on Jones at all or watched any of his fights?
Yes, I know I got a southpaw coming up. Yeah, I know he's got a rear hand. He's looking to set up, with his lead hand, his jab hand. He's going to be looking to set up his rear, from the southpaw stance, So I'm going to be, coming. I'm going to winning the jab, having my hand over his jab, winning the jab contest, and I'm going to be stepping out to the left a lot. Zigging back into the right, and he's not going to expect me switching stances quite a bit in this fight. So he doesn't really know what he's in for. He's never fought anybody like this, guaranteed, and I'm excited to just shock him and put him on his heels, and make him be in a situation he's never been in before.
I would make waves too in Philly because he's a pretty big name. You think he's
Yeah, I can see, TMZ loves him, but you don't see any of his, fights, and you only see any of his highlights on people who just wait, and I ain't gonna wait. You know what I'm saying? If you, for a guy like him, if you stand there and you allow him to fight you, yes, he's gonna do his pretty stuff, he's quick, but I'm quick too, and I don't sit there and allow you to do nothing.
yeah. Like
So good luck with that.
like the guy you fought last time, he went in there and he was backing up and not being super aggressive, and you took it right to him, and he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, if he thinks that I'm just going to stand in front of him and play the little touch game, I mean, I'm not afraid to just walk right into you and start wailing on you. So we'll see what happens from there. I'll create an angle and an opening from there, but I'm going to make you open up because I'm going to walk forward.
Sure, brother. What are the ultimate goals? Like, obviously, you get this fight. Let's say best case scenario, you get the win Saturday. What do you think's next if you had to make a prediction? You thinking
We win the fight. Yeah, I mean, we win the fight, and I've already had some people talk to me about making sure that even after this fight, no matter what, Ryan, you're a good fighter now, and we need to, make sure you have, proper representation so that, we can market you better, because we really think that we can do something special with you, and I am at the level now where I can put on good performances and great wins and put on awesome wins in great fashion. I can, you tell me what round you want me to win. That's where I feel like I can be at, if I fight, with guys that are more, not super Olympic level. I mean, you put me against, guys that are more, that even have losses on their record, I'll build off of that. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking to get, the easy fights after this, but we're probably looking to get fights that are, not 10-0, 12-0 fights, unless they offer me a title fight after this, so. But we'll see. The goal is to continue to inspire my students, and anybody that looks up to me, and one day when I have my own gym and stable of lions, we'll have some, we'll be a legend in the game, and we'll put together some good stuff.
Jungle mentality, brother. Talk
That's right, man.
about that. You're like, talk a little bit about the jungle, because when we talked on Instagram before, you told me a lot about it. It was super interesting how you put together everything, and in the backyard, like, is it all still the same?
Pretty much just added some stuff and added people, added interest. It's only grown, man. I got some floor mats now, and it could be a real gym. It's like a Thailand style outdoor gym. I'm blessed to have a little side yard, which I have full access to, which basically I got, a big, bean bag hanging and a big long bag hanging. I've only accrued more workout equipment over the years and, more students, more interest, and, yeah, man, it's that jungle life, I grow tomatoes and all sorts of stuff back here. So you're amongst all my greenery and right under a big mother mango tree, in beautiful sunny South Florida, so it's a really nice vibe, really beautiful place to work out outside. And I'm just trying to invite as many people as I can to come enjoy that experience and give them a great workout experience, And like I said, training is for everyone.
What's your diet like? Are you vegan? Are you
Oh
eat?
no, I'm not vegan, man. I go right out here to the beach and I hunt and catch my lobsters and my fish. I'm a spear fisherman. I'm a fresh foodie. Okay, I just like to eat fresh food, man. I drink coconuts and I shoot my fish and I catch my fish and I eat them. And I'm trying to grow my own organic fruit and vegetables. Anything organic, and I'm down to eat it. Just trying to avoid all the demon pesticides and all the stuff that slows us down and kills us, basically, but
God diet.
anything fresh, I'm with it.
God diet, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I had my own cow, I would slaughter it myself, and look, if it's fresh, I'm willing to eat it. I don't mind meat or anything. It's just I don't eat a lot of meat from the stores because of what they do to it. So I eat a lot of fish because I can catch it right out here. So catch a lot of fish, a lot of lobster, and I eat them.
Oh, that's the way to do it, though, because it's.
And we're blessed to have coconuts like around on every corner here in Florida. So I'm sorry to the people that have to buy coconut water in the stores, but I just drink coconuts off the trees every day. So that's basically it.
Your take on the water supply? Like, me and my buddies will talk about this with the theories and everything. Is there
Oh
estrogen?
man, we can go into that, but basically that's why I drink coconuts out of the coconut.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, look, I don't even drink bottled water that's been sitting in a plastic container for too long. I'm just over it, man. I just drink my coconuts. Anything that comes from God, I'm trying to just absorb, everything else, it just feels like it's going to give you cancer,
Yeah. No,
fluoride in baby water. I mean, come on, man.
it's crazy.
It's like, it's getting crazy. Like, what's the purpose other than trying to put your mind, or trying to mess your mind up, so.
And do you think
They want you to be sick and slow, and basically I just caught on to what the devil's trying to do, and I just do the opposite.
Now, do you think it's intentional?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
100%. And it's crazy. People think we're crazy for saying this type of stuff, but blessed are those who have the eyes to see. For you hear what others do not hear, and you see what others do not see. Because that's what I've experienced. I mean, I could tell, like, during COVID, they were just trying to jab you with something, or I could tell this, there's evil in this world. I mean, there's kids being taken and adrenochrome. I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, I know you have the same spirit. It's just the evil is so real and apparent. It's like you have to be blind not to see it at this point.
Exactly.
So blessed are your eyes because you can see. And I'm grateful God gave me the eyes to see, even though it comes with a lot of grief. It's you know, it's a blessing to know the truth. You know, it's like Neo, like, you know, like, oh,
Matrix.
your eyes, you're open. You can see the truth, you know?
It's true. Unplugging. Unplugging. Yeah, it's craziness.
But you know, it's been a blessing. It's been a journey. I've learned so much, you know, and having God in my back, you know, I'm just feeling, you know, full of energy, full of life, and I'm just ready to just jump into this experience, show people how to walk right into someone else's house, right through fear, and just do your thing, man. Just enjoy yourself and just live life, you know, the way God intended it, free and with the Holy Spirit, without any, you know, anger towards others, with only the spirit of just trying to grow and just be of service to the world, man, and just let them know my Father in heaven through my actions and my behavior.
Sure, brother. How you feeling? Like on weight and everything? You feeling strong? I know you're cutting still, but how you feeling?
Yeah, you know, I'm a little thirsty right now. I'm a little hungry, you know. I basically weigh-ins aren't tomorrow until like 5 p.m. So I'll have a couple little berries tonight because I'm about 140 right now, and I got to be at like 137 tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got a
Oh,
couple pounds, but I got, you know, I got a little time. So, you know, I'm looking forward to just a little rest, take this thing off. I've been wearing it for a couple hours, and it's been a day, you know. We got to pack up still, and I'm ready to jet out of here tomorrow. You know, I got an early flight, and I'm looking forward to being in Philly in the morning.
all right, brother. Well, I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you hopping on, brother. I really do. It was really good,
Dude,
man.
thank you so much,
Appreciate it.
man. Yeah, dude.
I would definitely be watching, definitely be supporting. And thanks again, brother. I appreciate
God,
it.
that's my guy. That's my brother in Christ, man. Thank you, Danny. God bless. This is the first of many for your podcast. I'm privileged and honored to be here with you, man, and just grateful to know you, man. Thank you very much for having me, bro.
You too, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, my brother. God bless.